Demo time. Before diving into the story, let me introduce our team members. Chuxuan Xu is the project manager. Etong Wang is responsible for testing and bug fixing. Xinhua Fan handles back-end development, and I, Xinkai Zhou, am responsible for web development. Yu Xuanzeng take care of project deployment and data processing. Now, let me introduce the story. We researched the data on the number of new immigrants to Australia in 2021 from Sudo and the number of non-English tweets from Twitter. By using this data, we aim to discover some insights. First, the legend in the bottom right corner of the map shows the number of new immigrants to Australia in 2021, with a color intensity representing the number of new immigrants. Combining the map and the legend, we can observe that the New South Wales has the highest number of new immigrants, while the Northern Territory and Tasmania have fewer immigrants. Each state on this map is interactive. For example, when I click on New South Wales, the top left corner of the map displays the number of non-English tweets and some language codes. Here, we only show the top 10 non-English languages in New South Wales based on the number of non-English tweets. We can see that the number of tweets in Arabic, represented by AR, is approximately 15,000. This may indicate that the people with an Arabic language background prefer to live in New South Wales. We also made an interesting finding that the Japanese tweets are highest in Queensland, South Australia, and Victoria. Language code for Japanese is JA, identificating a thriving Japanese community in these three states. It's possible that this state will continue to attract a growing number of Japanese speakers in the future. Furthermore, we found a positive correlation between the number of new immigrants and the number of non-English tweets. For example, the New South Wales has nearly 100,000 non-English tweets, while Victoria has over 70,000, whereas the Northern Territory has only 1,400 non-English tweets. By observing the colors, we can see that the New South Wales has the highest number of new immigrants. The Northern Territory has the lowest number of immigrants. This finding supports the hypothesis that a higher number of non-English tweets indicates a more cultural, diverse society, which in turn attracts more immigrants. Next, let's explore our statistic page. We collect data from Mastodon.au and AUS.social servers and list the top 10 non-English languages based on the number of tools. The top 3 languages are German, Spanish, and Chinese, represented by DE, ES, ZH. Unlike the data we observed from Twitter, the German community is the most active community on the Australian server of Mastodon. The data on this page is continuously updated. The front end sends a request to the back end every 4 times. Yeah, you can see that. Furthermore, we can observe an increasing trend in the number of non-English tools over time. Although this growth is slow, the bar chart data is also showing a gradual increase. In order to capture the changes in the data, the video is played at 20 times in speed.
Going to demonstrate the process of deploying CouchDB using Ansible. Because this instance already has external storage mounted on the /data directory, so I have included a detection mechanism in my Ansible playbook to skip this step. This is my Ansible playbook, and we have also added a detection mechanism to skip if a container with the same name is already running. But since we have removed it, there's no need to worry about it. So we have already uploaded this playbook to this directory. So first, we will need to update apt. And install the Ansible since we have already installed it. Then just run the Ansible playbook. As you can see, the CoachDB is already running. Deploy and configure engines using Ansible. This is my Ansible playbook, which includes steps for both installing and configuring engines. We have pre-uploaded the engines playbook into the directory. So first, we need to update apt and then install Ansible. Since the Ansible is already installed in this instance, then we can simply run this Ansible playbook. The IP address of this instance is that, and we can simply test that if the engine is working properly. Yeah. As we can see, we can directly access to the CouchDB, so it works. How to deploy the Mushroom Harvester using Ansible. This is my Ansible playbook, which includes steps for installing the Docker environment, creating image, and running the script with parameters. We have already pre-uploaded this necessary file into the directory. After that, we need to update the apt as well. We have to go to the directory first and then install the Ansible. Since the Ansible is already installed, then we have to run this playbook. So we have to provide in the URL and token as the parameter, as we want to access to this Mastodon service and get the data from it. Since we plan to harvest data from 2 Mastodon servers, so we need to run this twice. Let's start with the second one. As you can see, these 2 Mastodon harvesters are running. How to deploy the Django backend using Ansible. This is my Ansible playbook. Since we are going to use Docker Swarm, includes initialize Docker Swarm, installing Docker environments, creating the image, and creating service. So as we have already placed the required documents and files into the directory in advance, now we need to first entrance the backend folder and then update apt and install the Ansible, and then just simply run this Ansible playbook. As we can see, our service has been successfully deployed with 2 replicas If we need to scale the servers to 4 replicas, we only need to run this command here. So now we have 4 replicas running here. To demonstrate how to deploy the Vue frontend using Ansible. This is my Ansible playbook for the frontend, which includes setting up the Docker environment, creating the image, and running the frontend container. And we have already put those necessary files into the directory to the frontend folder, the Docker file and the frontend playbook. And we shall go to the frontend folder and then update the apt, install the Ansible, and simply run the Ansible playbook. Let's check. As you can see, our frontend has been successfully deployed and is running on the port 80. And our frontend IP is this one. Let's test if it's work. Yeah, it's working. Thank you.